what I have taken the points in overview. So today we are going just let just it is taking some time. I'm going to upload my PPT and the PDF both. So today, what I have point I have included. Just let me tell you now. First, we are going to discuss the circular 30, which includes the competency-based question percentage, which has been changed from the last years to this year. And after that, we are going to discuss the how the competency-based questions have changed their categorization. Today, I am going to discuss the different categories of questions of competency-based and the overall categories of the questions, which is being included by the CBSE in upcoming exams of 2025. One more thing I have in this PPT and the today's workshop, that is how and what are the main criteria while setting a question paper which we should focus always. Like when we are going to discuss about the competency based questions, earlier it was 40%, now it is being changed to 50%. So this the criteria which has been changed from 40 to 50%, where it will go and how it is going to be, like change the paper pattern of our business studies subject. One more thing I have added in this particular thing, and that is what the marks distribution of the business studies subject, and how that we are going to discuss that marks distribution with the sample papers. This year's sample papers, which is being given by the CBSE just a few days ago, and how the sample paper has created on the basis of Bloom taxonomy, the revised Bloom taxonomy, and how it is going to affect the children's answer writing capacity in different manner. In the workshop which I have attended from a CBSE, the workshop was the resource person was CBSE paper setter. So she was just given me a very insightful experience about setting the question paper in such a manner that it was like very what I can say like the paper change like it has given me total an opportunity to set the papers in a very drastic and new manner. Like when we discuss about the SRQs, like earlier it is known as MCQs. Now the category has been changed to SRQs. SRQs includes a lot of categories. Most of I don't know that how many of you are aware of the different categories of one mark question, but I am going to show you the there are how many categories and how we have to frame the question in different categories, which is going to affect the overall like the overall quality of the paper. One more thing I have also included in this, that while setting this particular question paper criteria, which we are always, when we are doing this thing at our in our school, while setting the term one paper or pre-board paper, whatever the papers we are taking. So how we have to consider the CBSE criteria and the circular points in that particular setting of the question paper. Next thing which I will discuss with you, that what are the common I will not say mistakes, I will say the problems which have been faced by a lot of people, as I have been facing from a long period of time. So what are the problems faced by the teachers while setting the paper, and how these problems can be removed or can be overcome with the time. Another thing which I have added in this PPT, which I'm going to show you just in now. Yeah, the it is okay now, and I'm let me just give me 1 minute to share my presentation. Just give.
Yes, sir. It is coming on the screen now.
বলছি গা হাত পাটা নিয়ে একটা ম্যাক্সি পড়ো। হ্যাঁ,
Hello, is it visible to everyone?
Yes, Manoj sir, it is visible.
Okay.
Visible, sir. You
Okay,
can
okay,
proceed,
sir.
sir. It is visible.
Yeah. So these are the topic which I am going to include in this. Understanding the CBSE guideline, that is circular number 30, which has changed the competency-based criteria, then division of units and chapters, then weightage and blueprint, types and distribution of questions, common mistakes to avoid, best practices for the teachers, and sample paper discussion. This is going to be the important discussion today, which is going to give me the insight of my Bloom's taxonomic criteria and the circular 30 criteria through this sample paper. Let me move ahead. So today's discussion is basically about is deepen our knowledge of business studies concepts in relation to the effective designing of question paper. That thing, this particular thing, we have already discussed in the earlier, what we have discussed about this workshop. And this program is a valuable opportunity to exchange ideas, ask questions, and prepare for the future examination endeavors. So whenever we are going to be like, it might be possible that few of us are going to be the CBSE resource person in this, or CBSE question setters, question paper setters. So while being that person, or while be at that particular platform or stage, what are the things which we need to be focused about, or what are the things which we need to keep in mind while studying these question papers? So here, this is circular 30, which is given by the CBSE. Now, as we can, I think it is visible to all. So as we can see, in 2023-24, it was competency-based questions criteria, which includes the MCQ form, case-based forms, and source-based integrated questions. Each and every category was included. Total was 40%. Now, this category has been changed to. Excuse me, ma'am. Hello.
Nilanjana ma'am, you are requested to please mute your mic.
Can we?
Host madam, please mute him. Host madam, please mute her.
Okay. So come to the point again. So earlier the competency-based questions percentage was 40%. Now it has been increased to 50%. We are going to discuss that how this 10%, the criteria, is going to affect the overall question paper. Next, in last year's category, the selective response question, that is known as SRQ, was 20% only, and this time also it is 20%. So now there is a criteria that how this 20% has been changed, had not changed, but it is going to change the criteria of competency-based question. This I am going to give you an overview just in a while. The next thing is constructed responsive questions, that is known as short answers question or long answers question. As per the earlier category, it was just 40%, which is given in this table just here, and now it has been reduced to 30%. So basically, what CBSE has done, according to the CBSE NEP policy or new national education policy, CBSE has given students a platform to put their creative answers or the creative manners or the their we can say the writing answers capabilities to put into a more practical approach. This category CRQs, which is known as constructive response question, which was earlier 40%, in which CBSE used to give short answers and long answers. These were used to be very subjective earlier. And because of the subjective, there was, the main criteria was to rote learning. Like student used to learn the questions, and in the same manner they have to write the answers, which is given in the book only. There was no competency, to checking their aptitude and to checking their IQ level, and to somehow we have to, just if we CBSE wants to check their, like, how they are preparing for the upcoming exams which they are going to face, like CUET and other competitive exams. So because of that only reasons, CBSE has increased this percentage to 50% and reduced this CRQ percentage to 30%. Now I'm going to give you a very detailed view about this category, how this category has been changed. Now look at this. Division of questions. SRQs, which is known as MCQs, which is basically 1 mark question, was 20%. So if we talk about the business studies paper, it is of 16 marks. But as teachers, we all know that the 1-marker questions comes for 20 marks.
আমি
Okay.
বলেছিলাম তখন ওর গাড়ি আসবে করছে।
Okay. So 1-marker question comes with 20 marks. Then there are 3 questions of 4 marks. Then 4 questions of 6 marks. And 6 questions of 4 marks. So how this situation has been changed by this CBSE circular, which is CBSE circular 30. CRQ has been reduced from 40 to 30%, that is 24 marks. And this category, which is known as competency-based question, which includes a lot of, multiple options, or we can say the multiple categories. Like it includes text-based questions, source-based questions, picture-based question, which has now become a very trendy thing in business studies paper. It has become a trend now that on a continuous basis from last 2 years, we are getting questions on picture-based. This year's sample paper also has introduced or has given this particular category, that is picture-based question. And then the last category, which is the soul of the business studies paper, and that is case-based question, which is now, or from the last 7-8 years, which we are discussing as, like, case studies question, in which they used to give us a case study of a particular criteria. It could be of a particular business or general nature of category, and then the student used to identify the concept behind it and write about the concept and the related concept with the particular concept. So how this category has changed and how this is going to affect our paper setting criteria, just let me give you a detailed view. Just see here, look here. SRQs must have following types of MCQ. Now the CBSE is given, like the depth into the 1-marker questions. Earlier, I know before COVID, the 1-marker question was to be of mostly 1 or 2 types. There was not much categories into SRQs or MCQs. But if you see the sample paper of this year or the board paper of last year, you will 100% is going to realize that this 1-marker MCQ, this category has been, continuously being a challenging one, the challenging, criteria for the students. Earlier, we have seen that a lot of people used to score 100 out of 100, which is 80 out of 80 marks in the theoretical paper. But nowadays, this number has been reduced with the time. And the reason behind it is that these type of updations or these type of amendments which CBSE has done in Circular 30, which has given a lot of categories or a lot of criteria in 1-marker questions, and which actually check the student potential to be like a topper, or we can say to be like the most intelligent one among all the people who are giving the papers or the CBSE exams. So it includes the following categories, 8 categories I have mentioned here. First is match the following category. And this match the following category has basically creates a long question, because in with particular category you have to give 4 options, which has to be matched with another 4 answers. So for a teacher, that is very much difficult to frame these questions more than 1 or 2. So under Circular 30, CBSE is also clearly mentioned that MCQ question, like the match the following questions of 1-marker, should be maximum of 1 or 2. The number of match the following question should not exceed 1 or 2 questions maximum. Then the next question is, it could be framed from the very interesting topic which has multiple categories of answers or multiple categories of topics. Like in chapter 4, we have a topic types of plan. So in this category, we can frame the questions like on the left side, we can put that 4 types of plan. It could be any type, like it could be rule, objective, policy, procedure, budget. It could be anything. And on the right side, we can give them their core lines to identify that particular topic. So this will give them a detailed view. A child who is coming just just remembering 1 or 2 types of plan, just after thinking that okay, might be possible that they are not going to ask this type of plan and this category of plan. When they will see these kind of categories of question, they will going to think and they will going to regret about their rote learning, that ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, that this should not be done. We have they must have studied each and every category of plan, because that will allow them to solve these type of MCQs, which is nowadays known as SRQs, at more detailed and the more accurate answer of the particular topic. The next question is sequencing. That is one of the most critical category nowadays, which has been added in the CBSE question paper setting criteria. Earlier, we all know from last 10 years, if you basically remember, at least there were to be 2 processes which CBSE has to give in their question papers. It could be a process of controlling or planning. It could be a process of a selection process or a planning process. They used to give the staffing process with the trading procedures some day. So there are a lot of processes. How these people, those who are setting the CBSE paper, like change that total criteria of 6-mark question into 1 mark by this category, that is sequencing. What these people are doing, these people are converting those sequencing questions into 1 mark options, and they are giving multiple options in which they are changing the sequence, and the student has to identify the sequence. Like if we talk about the organizing process comprises of 4 steps. First is identification and division of work, then second is departmentalization, third is assignment of duties, and fourth is establishing reporting relationship. So what the question paper must do with this particular category, they must exchange their positions, and by this particular doing this process or doing this practice, you can create a question of sequencing, which can check the students' awareness, that how much the people are very much adhere to their process steps. Because if we talk about the procedure, it is each and everything which has to be in a sequential steps. So students, those who are not full considering these steps to be serious one, so they must be in that criteria or in that zone, that no, aisa nahi chalega, we have to consider each and every process deeply and comprehensively. We have to learn each and every process. Then next, the most critical category, which is being the most problematic for the students nowadays, that is assertion and reasoning category. And this creates sometimes a problem for the teacher also. If the CBSE marking scheme is not clear to the teacher, then I think it creates a lot of problem for the teacher as well, because each and every teacher has their own opinion, and these type of questions create differences among the opinion of the teachers. Because sometimes assertion and reason will look like this assertion is the correct explanation, and by the same time some other teacher is saying, I don't feel this is the correct explanation. So in this particular category, the student generally face the problem, and it is being a teacher or being a tutor of the particular this kind of subjects, which has a very detailed topics and a very comprehensive knowledge. So we must clear them. This is how this category actually works. Then next, this is the fill in the blanks category. This is the very old one, but now it has come with a new version, that is MCQs. They used to skip a particular word in between the sentence, and they used to give us the 4 options. Then the student need to identify. This is a very old concept. Then this is the 5th category. Identify the incorrect statement. I don't know how much you are aware about or not. This particular category CBSE has taken from the higher education sector, higher education paper setting criteria, which includes the PG exams or the NET exams or the JRF exam. Because if you have appeared in these kind of exam, you have seen that most of the questions in those kind of exams comes from this category. because it is very much difficult for a child or for a person who is giving the paper to identify the incorrect one, because all the answers looks like same, and then it is our deep knowledge or the deep, like what we can say, the study which we have done from since long 8, 9 months, 10 months of our journey in 12th class. This gives us a very much clearance about this topic कि कौन सा वाला टॉपिक हमें exactly लग रहा है कि incorrect है, and with whom or with which particular topic which we have to move on. At this point, I am thinking that this is a totally negative one and this is incorrect, so I should go with it. So this category, is very good category according to the Bloom's taxonomy to analyze this, but that skills, psychomotor, or we can say the cognitive skills of the student. Next, statement-based category is very much aligned with the assertion reason category, because assertion reason category also gives us the last two options, that A is true and R is false, and A is false and R is true. Somehow it is same with the statement-based questions, in which there are the categories of questions like both the statements are true, both the statements are false, one is true, one is false. So by this type of questions, these students will be able to do much better in business studies domain in their CUT paper. So as a educator or as a business studies teacher, we also tell them more detailed view about these things, because it is going to help them in their CUT exam also. And the CUT whole paper is based on the MCQ pattern. So this 20 marks is going to give them the admission in the top most colleges of the India if they are very good with this 20 marks question, and this will give them an opportunity to get the 80 out of 80, or we can say the 100 out of 100 marks in this subject. Then these two categories are the basic categories which we have been used from last 10-20 years. First is simple concept-based question, in which we ask the normal concepts of the business studies topic, and the complex SRQs is like when we make the toughest question out of the syllabus. The questions which are not normal to the categories of the average student and the below average student. These 1 or 2 questions is for those who are extraordinary one and who deserve to be amongst the top scorers of the CBSE exam. So this category. So by these 8 categories, you can easily prepare your 20 questions of 1 markers category, which is known as SRQ, or we can say the MCQ category. If you ask me the exact number, I have been given or we have discussed this particular thing, that what should be the exact number of these categories. So the numbers were like this. Match the following question.
Nilanjana ma'am, you are requested multiple times. Nilanjana ma'am, you are requested multiple times on your personal window to please mute yourself. The session, the speaker and the recording is getting disturbed. Thank you.
So match the following. Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. So match the following question should be of 1 mark or there should be only 1 question. That is more than enough. Sequencing category should be only 1 question is more than enough, because it takes a lot of time of the student to identify each and every category and to match the categories with the answers. So it does not take only one minute or 2 minutes. It takes sometimes 5 minutes of the student when we talk about the process of the selection or the staffing, which include 8 steps. So it takes time to identify the student which one is exactly the right one. So that is one particular question is more than sufficient in this category. In assertion reason category, I think 2 or 3 questions are more than sufficient, because 2 and 3 questions are going to give them a tough competition to be among the highest scorer one. Fill in the blanks, not more than 2, because it is also part of the easiest category of the question. If we talk about the incorrect statement question, it is with like the discretion of the teacher how much questions you want to create out of it, because this category is going to give them a very detailed or enhance the knowledge of the particular topic from the topic which we are giving the question. Then statement based, not more than 2, because it is very much similar to the assertion reason. It is going to create problem for the student. Simple based questions, the rest categories can be divided between the simple based and the complex. It has been given or been told to us by the by our seniors in that workshop only that complex SRQs should not exceed 2 or 3, because otherwise it is going to affect the result of the student. Now, if we come to the next category, because just have a look this thing. SRQs we have discussed. It is of I'm going to tell you how this 16 marks would become 20 marks, because some of you might be surprising that 1 mark question will be of 20 marks. So why you have written only 16 marks? So let me give you a clarity just now. Then we will move ahead. The category of CRQs, which is constructive response question, which has been changed from 40 to 30%. तो जो यहाँ ये जो 10% का जो रिडक्शन हुआ है, ये कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस में ऐड हुआ है. This has been added to the competency based question, and I just want to make you clear very much that this 4 marks of SRQs will come from this competency based category. Then 16 plus 4 will become 20 marks in 1 marker question category. I hope I am clear that how this is going to work. So the CBQ category will become for 30 mark, 36 mark question in category of 3, 4 and 6 marks. Okay, so how this is how this thing will work. That 16 marks plus 4 marks, 4 marks of question from competency based question. Now it could be a case study which will include 1 marker, 4 questions. It could be any category of picture based question or a source based question. They will give you a table and they will tell you to identify the 4 different answers of 1 mark question. So this competency based question includes 10%, or we can say the 4 marks of questions from 1 mark category. And the second category now we are going to discuss, that is CRQ, constructed responsive question, which includes the basic 2 categories of short answers and long answers, which we are using from last, I think 20-30 years, in which we used to put the direct questions, which could be of 3 to 4 marks, which is short answer category questions, and long answer category question, which is direct based question. Like we used to ask write any 4 features of management, write any 4 types of plan, or write this procedure, or write any 4 factors affecting fixed capital and working capital requirement. What are the responsibilities of consumers? Okay, it could be anything, but it would be direct only. It is not going to be like a case based or a complex question. It will be direct, which is related. Just in a while, I'm going to give you this CBSE blueprint category, that how much this category consists of how much marks. So we have to also adhere to that particular category. Yes, this next point is going to be very crucial for the sample paper discussion. And I was not, very much confident that CBSE is going to implement this particular point in their sample paper, but they have done in a very innovative and, exemplary manner. WH family not to be used in questions 10. Which actually, what does it mean? That whenever we are setting the paper, WH family, any word which is coming from the WH family, why, how, when, where, these things should not be included in framing the question or asking the question in the question paper. Because CBSE do not want to create that same, pattern of creating question papers which we were being used from last so many years. With the implementation of NEP, CBSE wants to change the pattern and the criteria of paper to the most innovative manner. So with this particular highlight, they have done a very good job, and they have created this thing in their sample paper also. So we are hoping that this thing is going to be seen in the board paper as well. So now there is a question, sir, if we are not allowed to use, or we are advised not to use this WH family, which includes these, like what we used to ask, right? Like, what is the concept of this? What do you understand by this concept? So eliminate those words of WH family and use these words instead of those WH family words. You can write, like, give any 4 points of importance of management, list any 4 features of planning, mention any 4 types of plan, explain the process of controlling, or explain the 4 elements of marketing management. Describe. In describe, we can write any point with, like, describe the types of leadership, or like describe this point to that point, describe the dimensions of the business environment. So with these words like identify, elucidate, justify, comment, these are the words which CBSE has told us in the circular 30 to use in place of the WH family, and which I think is a very great initiative, because it is, like, it will come out, it will take us to the that particular zone in which we were being for like 20-30 years. Now we have to create the questions in such a manner which is not going to create a phenomena of कि यार ये question इसी category से होगा कि ये why पूछ रहा है, where पूछ रहा है. No. So it will give them a good impression with these words, that exactly what CBSE wants to ask. And for more, we are going to like refer this Bloom taxonomy. We all are very much aware of this particular concept, and we are in our school, we are using this taxonomy in our lesson plan also. Like each and every lesson plan of our subjects, whether it is business studies or accountancy or economics, we use this Bloom taxonomy. We used to discuss, or we used to categorize our lesson plan in the Bloom taxonomy category, like cognitive domain, affective domain, psychomotor domain, and we used to plan our lesson plan in such a manner that will create and use all the categories of Bloom taxonomy and reach to that particular student's like understanding process in such a manner that lasts longer, that lasts very much longer. So that will help those students, like that will increase the retention power. Nowadays, what problem we are facing nowadays, that students, they do not have a good retention power. आज आप उनको कुछ पढ़ाइए, and when you come to the, like we are discussing now, first or second chapter, when we come to this fifth or sixth chapter, and when we ask them, like, which principle of y'all was related to this particular topic, they like, they don't know anything, they do not remember anything. So that is the biggest problem nowadays, which we all are facing, I hope, nowadays in our this lecture delivering, or we can say in our lesson plan, or the results, with the results also. So this using this Bloom taxonomy, we can get the help in enhancing the students' learning ability. And how you can enhance, like, there are 6 domains. Like, first domain is remembering, then understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. If you see, each and every level has their own criteria, and they have given their own problem also, their solution also. That if we talk about the level 1, can the learner recall or remember the information? In which we used to ask them the direct questions. So we used to tell them define, duplicate, list, or state. These are the basic points which are used in the business studies criteria. These recall and repeat, these are the words which are being used by the other subjects, might be possible science or physics or chemistry. But in our subjects, we use generally define, list, and state. These 3 words relate to the business studies subject. But if we come to the category number, which is the understanding level category, level 2, in which we need to identify can the learner explain ideas or concepts? जो चीजें उसने पढ़ी हैं क्लास में, the things which they have learned a lot in their class from each and every chapter. So whether they will be able to deliver that particular topic in the detailed and comprehensive manner, in which we used to ask them that lengthy and the long questions, 3, 4, and 6 mark question, which includes words, classify, describe, discuss, explain. Okay, so these are the words which we use in short answer category and the long answer category question. So this is from the second category, that is understanding, on which the CBSE only has placed the 44 marks. CBSE in their paper blueprint has put down so much, weightage to this category, that they have put down the 44 marks weightage to this understanding based category. Just in a while, I'm going to discuss this thing with the blueprint when I'm going to discuss. Then we come to the third level, that is, can the learner use the information in a new way? This is the applying category, which can come through the picture-based question, or case-based question, or a source-based question, in which we used to ask them, like, give their opinion, comment, these type of questions, solve this particular, or put their own idea how this situation will be in that particular zone if we have asked this particular point. So this is the third and the applying concept which used in that particular thing. They have to use their aptitude. Let me tell you one thing. यहाँ से उनको सोचना start करना पड़ता है. In the initial two categories, remembering and understanding, they can put their effort by learning that what they have learned or what they have remembered, they are going to put into their answer sheet with these two categories. But when we come to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth category, this is going to very crucial for them, because now only the rote learning they have done or what they have remember only, that is not going to work. And that's how we are going to tell them that these case studies are not going to work in the direct question manner. केस स्टडीज वैसे काम नहीं करती जैसे डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन करता है. केस स्टडीज के लिए आपको पूरा थॉट प्रोसेस पता होना चाहिए that how if this question will come from this planning topic or the principles topic or from the business environment topic, what are the key takeaways which we have taken from the chapters while identifying the case study or the concept from the topic, whether it is from the first book, from the management topics, or from the business finance and marketing topic. Then when we come to the fourth category, that is, can the learner distinguish between different parts? That is the category of second affective domain of Bloom taxonomy. Because initial two categories come under the cognitive domain, then this category, which gives an impression or gives an idea to a student that how they can differentiate between particular two topics or two criteria or two plans or two different concepts. So this will give them, like if I am asking a question like differentiate between money market and capital market, so the student must be aware of both the markets in a very detailed manner. Then only he or she will be able to put the answers in exact manner which CBSE actually wants from us, or from the child which we have given and the answers in the marking scheme only. So this affective domain include these two categories, level 3 and level 4. Then come to the psychomotor, or we can say the top level domain of the Bloom taxonomy. That is, can the learner justify a stand or decision, in which we used to ask them, like, do you support this statement, or you agree with this statement that this is going to be like this? So we have to ask them these type of questions to check their ability to put their own judgmental skills, or we can say decision making, into their answer. And this is the category where CBSE also tells us, or asks us to be rational about check when we are going to correct the copies. These two are the categories where we have to be rational. Like we have to take care of the answers, because in this category each and every child answer is going to be different, because they are going to write their own judgment, own their criteria. So it is not going to be same. So CBSE also tells us to become rational and see that if question is giving you the actual meaning, what it is given in the marking scheme, you must give the marks to the child. Then the last but not the least category that also comes under the psychomotor, can the learner create a new product or point of view? Sometimes they ask some kind of questions where they have to put their creativity. So the creative questions comes in this category, where they want to they have to develop or create anything. It could be any category of questions. So this comes under the third and the highest domain, that is psychomotor. So with this discussion, we'll move forward to this important criteria, which I just wanted to discuss that how this thing is going to work. But before this, I just wanted to discuss this category, which was related with the circular 30, how this thing is going to work. Because CBSE has changed from this category from before COVID pattern. Before COVID, this total percentage of weightage of marks in this typology of question was different. But after COVID and mainly after 2022, this has been changed. If you can see, the remembering and understanding based question has been raised to 44%. And the reason behind this particular category is that they have enhanced the difficulty level in their MCQs. They have increased the difficulty level in their MCQ question. So they do not want to pressure, put the pressure on the student from every area they want to have them the liberty to the student कि वो भी थोड़ा सा relax रहे. तो उन लोगों ने when they have increased this particular category of SRQs or MCQs, they have changed, they have classified that one marker questions into 8 or 9 categories, and each and every category is different in their own zone. So they have put down a very high, weightage, a good weightage to this basic category, which is known as remembering and understanding question, in which CBSE used to ask the direct question, which we are going to discuss just after, very soon in sample paper also. Then applying this category is very much known to us, because in this category, they have to solve the problem to a new situation by applying acquired knowledge, facts and techniques and rules in a different way. And, this is the category where we used to ask that which principle is being violated, or which principle will apply being a manager if you will be the manager. Which principle do you think you will apply to improve this situation? So this applying category has been of 19 marks, which is approximately 24% of the paper. And the rest of the category, which include analyzing, evaluating, and creating concept, in which we put down the questions of 17 marks, which is not more than 22%. But this includes that 20% of criteria, where CBSE actually wants to evaluate the, what we can say, the highly intellectual or highly intelligent student. Because we all are aware that the paper pattern of CBSE is very much in like 30, 50, and 20. Like 30% paper will be easy, 50% paper will be moderate, and the rest of the 20% paper will be like we cannot say tough, but we can say like the typical one or the challenging one for the student, where the student needs to put a lot of, their brain to answer those questions. So that gives a good impression to those students who actually work hard to score good marks. So this was the category where I was talking about. This 44 marks is being put down, has been increased by the CBSE because of the only one reason, because they have made this particular 1 mark question category so tough that they want to give them liberty at this category, where they just learn the answers and put the answers into the paper. Now, if we discuss about the blueprint of this 11th and 12th class paper, because whatever we have discussed, it is common to both the classes. But if we discuss about this blueprint of the class, in this particular blueprint, I have seen one very interesting thing. And in this year's sample paper, I think, or I have seen in last year's board paper also, like in 12th class, you can see last 4 chapters, there are 2 units, like 9th and 10th chapter, which is financial management and financial market, comes for 15 marks. And last 2 chapters, marketing management and consumer protection, comes for 15 marks. When we teach these chapters to the student, we all are aware that marketing is a very lengthy chapter, and consumer protection in comparison to that chapter is not so lengthy and not that much difficult. So when the student is asking, he used to ask to us that, sir, so marketing zyada marks ka aayega, or it is more important to put more effort in this chapter, or what? What should we do? So being a teacher, we should not tell them कि बेटा ऐसा नहीं है, marketing ज़्यादा बड़ा है, so it will come for the maximum marks, like 10 marks का marketing आएगा and the 5 marks will come from the consumer protection. It is not like that. This whole unit is for 15 marks. So might be possible that consumer protection chapter will come for 9 marks and marketing will come only for the 6 marks. I don't know what year it was, but I have seen that consumer protection itself has come for 11 marks and marketing chapter has given only 4 marks of weightage. So in this situation, if a student who has put down a lot of effort and time in preparing that chapter, which is marketing, which is a very lengthy chapter, and only 4 mark questions come out of this chapter, that can create, like a problem, or we can say not a good situation for the student. Then the student will be like shattered. मैंने इस chapter को time दिया and I have given a lot of effort in preparing this chapter, and CBSE is given only 4 mark question. So, in spite of this, we should tell our student that prepare each and every chapter, in similar manner. But yes, if a particular chapter is very lengthy, you should put more time. You should devote more time in preparing that particular chapter, in spite of those chapters which is not lengthy, like chapter number 8, controlling, chapter number 3, business environment, as well as the chapter number 12, which is consumer protection. But unit division works like this only. Sometimes consumer protection will come for 10 marks, marketing will come only for 5 marks. So we have to tell our students that do not give focus to only one chapter in a particular category. Each and every chapter is as important as the other. This was the only point. I just wanted to tell you in this particular blueprint of this, because I know you all are very much experienced and the knowledgeable one, because you are setting papers from might be possible like 20 or 25 years. So this is not my forte to discuss now. Now, what are the common mistakes which, being a teacher, I have been done, or I have seen some teachers doing while setting the paper, and this create problem for the student. First thing which I say, avoid questions which are outside the syllabus. As we all are aware, there are a lot of topics in CBSE syllabus as well, which have been removed by the CBSE. If we see NCERT, it is included all the topics. But if we see the curriculum of the 2024 and 25, there are a lot of topics which has not been included. Like if I talk about the financial market chapter, and there are no money market instrument included in this topic. Money market instrument have been excluded. That chapter 3rd, business environment topic, that LPG and the impact on the public sector, that has been totally removed from this topic. Supervision function in chapter 7 has been merged with the chapter 1 category. So there are a lot of topics which have been removed, which has been removed by the CBSE. So we should take care of those topics and should not give questions out of it, because it creates a question mark on the students' preparation itself. कि मैंने वो क्या ये चीज मैंने पढ़ी नहीं है, मुझे आती नहीं है, बाद में पता चलता है it is out of syllabus. That can create problem for both, like teacher as well as the student. Next, ensuring clear and unambiguous wording. This thing we used to tell student also in the 7th chapter, like directing, when we talk about the communication, semantic barriers, that use avoid technical jargon. The same with the chapter also. We do not generally we should not use an ambiguous word. Be always unambiguous, which is totally clear. Do not create any type of confusion or any word. Do not put any word which can create conflict in them only. कि उनको समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि ये क्वेश्चन पर्टिकुलर चीज से रिलेटेड है भी या नहीं. And then this third point is one of my favorite question. Always maintain a balance between theory and application based question. There are I have seen there are papers of a lot of other schools, not Bhavans, other schools. They to enhance their announced result, they used to put direct questions. And sometimes those teachers who want to test their students, they used to put a lot of case studies questions. So while setting mainly paper of business studies, we should have balance of both, like case study, application based question, and the direct question. And this particular criteria should also be focused while setting the MCQs as well. Like I have discussed just now only, that while setting the MCQ, we should take care of the categories of assertion, region, question, and all those. So that is very much important for us. What are the best practices we should keep in our mind while setting the paper? Like first thing, revise the blueprint every year. If there is any change, anything else which has been done by the CBSE or changed by the CBSE, this is the first and the foremost step for a teacher to set whenever they are going to set the paper. Let's check the blueprint. Then peer review before finalizing the paper. This is the basic practice of our schools, like in Bhavans only, I think, that we always used to discuss the paper with the colleague. And after once the paper is done, we used to discuss the marking scheme as well with the colleague. So if there is any differences of opinion, we should come to the point and then finalize these differences of opinion, so that it should not create any problem in the answer sheets or in the marking scheme only. And last thing, which I used to do in accountancy subject, that is preparing marking schemes beforehand. This is a very crucial for those teachers who are teaching business studies as well as accountancy also. Because whenever you are giving a question in accountancy, sometimes we used to do this in business studies also, read the question and try to solve the question by yourself only. If it is okay to you that you are, very uh, easy, or we can say like very okay to solve the question, then only give that particular question in the paper. If it is not up to the mark, do not try to put the question into the question paper. That is going to create problem for the student only. It might be possible that that particular question is going to hamper their confidence as well. So that practice, I don't think should be, use whenever you are setting the paper. While setting the paper, before submission, please prepare marking scheme. That will give you the clarity about the answers which student is going to write. Now, if we talk about the sample paper, just I'll give you just overview. Just a second. Geeta ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, Manoj sir, it's visible.
Okay.
Yes,
I will
sir.
directly
Visible,
I will
visible.
directly come to this category of long questions. As you are seeing that in 34th question, they have directly asked, like, explain the 4 elements of marketing mix and explain the 4 factors affecting the price. So this is the category of remembering and understanding based question. This is where CBSE is given freedom, or we can say the liberty to the student, that which we have taken them from the MCQ category. Because MCQ category we have made very competitive and very analyzed based. So we have given that liberty to the student in, in these type of questions. Like if you can see 6-mark question from this remembering category is given here, then 6 marks, this 32 question, this is also direct question, differentiate between functional and divisional structure, and the other one from the delegation. So two questions of 6 marks from direct. Then third, the one more question from 4 marks category. Give any 4 points of importance of difference between advertising and personal selling. So, just why I just wanted to discuss, I just wanted to show this PDF to all of you. I know that each and every one of you are always, already been observed this particular sample paper or seen this sample paper. I just want to give you this idea that CBSE themselves wants to give a liberty to the student to, score good marks. But from where they have taken this liberty, why they are giving so much freedom to write these direct questions to the student? Because they have taken the liberty in asking 1 marker question. Like, I'll show just a minute. I'll show you this category. Here it is. Like you can see in the first question only. See the question. The nature of the management. We have to find out the nature. But for identifying that nature, first we have to understand the whole case study behind it. That Sahib Limited is a company who is, appointing a manager. So this takes time. We cannot say that this question can be done in 1 mark, 1 minute only. So these are the questions which are taking time of the student. And because of this type of questions, that CBSE has given the liberty, or we can say the freedom of 44 marks of remembering and understanding based question to the student. Like, see, this is the category that identify the step. So for this, the student must be aware of the whole process, that which step of the particular process is being, what is the meaning of the particular step of the process. If student has skipped any of the step, he or she will not be able to judge the process exactly. Then we were talking about the pictorial question, picture-based question. Here it is. They have given the questions from the consumer protection chapter. So CBSE has included each and every category of the SRQs, what we have discussed today, whether it is sequencing, match the following, fill in the blanks, assertion reason, statement based. See, here they have given the assertion reason and the sequencing question both. For you, I just would like to read this question, 9th question. Joining a job marks the beginning of socialization of employees at the workplace. The employee should be given a post for which he has been selected. Place the subsequent steps of staffing in a small organization in correct order. Now, in this case, the student must be very much aware about that which step they are talking about. like beginning of socialization of employees at the workplace. This is a part of the orientation, and the employee should be given a post for which he has been selected. This is known as placement. So placement and orientation. Now plays the subsequent step of staffing in an organization. So after placement, as we all are aware that placement and orientation is the fourth step of staffing. After the training and development will come, then performance appraisal will come, then promotion and career planning will come, and then last compensation will come. So according to this question, the C point will be the answer. After this, training and development will come, then performance appraisal, then promotion and career planning, and the compensation. So if a student has skipped any of the step or not, read all the steps deeply or comprehensively, that student is going to face problem. So this is how the CBSE has taken the liberty of the student, which were earlier given to them in 1 marker question. So this was the only, this one more category is there. Match the following. Now it takes a lot of time to match each and every option with the given correct option. So it is not a 1 or 2 minute question. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes. So CBSE has basically planned this question setting the paper, the whole phenomena in a very competitive manner, which is going to help them in their upcoming journey, which they are going to face in their CUET exams and other criteria, wherever they are going to discuss. So this was all from my side. Thank you so much for being lovely audience.
Thank you, Manoj
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
That was such an
Thank you, Manoj sir.
session. And sir, Sharma sir,
Yes,
with
yes.
your permission, yes sir, please. कैसा लगा आपको ये सेशन?
गीता मैडम बहुत बढ़िया लगा. I'd like to add one or more 1-2 points that I have observed. Although it was
Yes.
very interesting and it was very knowledgeable, but I have seen in the business studies, it is a very interesting subject. But interesting and challenges go side by side. If it is an interesting subject, it is also a challenging subject. And I have seen many cases, children are getting good marks in accounts and they are getting very less marks in business studies. So a few things that I have observed, I'm sharing with you. The one thing is, although he has discussed it, that the case studies given are very lengthy, very lengthy. And
Yes, sir.
these, these are lengthy, but they need careful analysis. So you have to read a lot of things and you have to, out of those things, you have to take out few information. So this is one challenge that the children used to face. And then they should know the reading, they should know the comprehension, they should understand, they should break out the information in the small parts, and then they have to write the answer. So it is a long procedure to write the answer, number one. Number two is sometimes very vague question, very ambiguous question used to come in the paper. And although CBSE takes every precaution, but sometimes you might have noted this thing that it happens sometimes. So student might they find that it is very challenging that exactly what the examiner wants or what the paper wants. So at that time they have to underline the keywords, the phrases, and then they have to rephrase the question in their own words and answer. Anyhow, third is about the time management. It's a very lengthy paper, and obviously if time limit is fixed 3 hours. So the student have to know how to allocate time wisely for each section. And as such, they should start from the questions that they are proficient into. They know it better, and then come accordingly. And the one thing that he has discussed also, and I also want to emphasize, is application-based questions. The people used to say that business studies is a theory-based question. It's a theory-based, but the time has gone. I mean, long back, if you say this, we can understand. But now, and it's having some practical questions also. And there are some students who struggle with applying their theoretical principles to the real world scenario. So this is also an interesting problem that children should understand how the theories can translate into the business decisions. And one is about the diagram drawing business and the drawing of the diagrams. So like you might have seen about the organizational structure, marketing channel, etc., etc. So whenever drawing is there, so it is that they should draw a neat diagram, a level diagram, and the clarity is more important than that of artistic value. And the last thing that I want to say is, he has rightly mentioned that there should be a balance between theory and practical examples. That is, while writing the answer, the student must understand, as a teacher, you must understand that there should be a striking balance between theory and practical. So avoid using the question that is having long paragraphs of the theory and which is very difficult to illustrate in the real life situation without diagrams or without giving more examples. So I suggest that the teachers must use the studies which are relevant, business news, personal experiences, or the current scenario which is going on in the business circle. So they can take up this example and can ask the questions from this. So business studies paper will be more, more attractive, more beautiful, and more interesting for the children to do. So thank you very much, Mr. Manoj. You have given a very nice brief of this.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Geeta. You are wonderful as usual, and all other teachers who have participated in the program. And convey my thanks and regard to your principal for sparing you for this particular program. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Recording of this session, when I'll transform it to the YouTube and it will be floating on my channel. You can see. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Have
you
a
so
nice day.
much, everybody. And of course, a big vote of thanks for the speaker of the session, our resource person, Shri Manoj Dharmdasani, sir. So the session was quite elaborative, very well explained, very enriching, and it was a good, fruitful session to attend. And I'm sure everybody is having the similar emotion. And of course, without our patron, this was not possible. So thank you so much, Shri A.K. Sharma, sir, the Regional Education Officer, Bhavans. And with this, we would also like to extend our gratitude and thanks to our principal, Honorable Preeti Sangwan ma'am, who has utter belief and faith in us, wherein she encourages us to take part in such platforms. With her endorsement, Shri Manoj Dharmdasani sir got this opportunity to be the resource person for the session. So yes, we are thankful to our principal ma'am as well. And wishing everybody a happy Sunday. And thank you everyone for sparing your time. Here I bid bye. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.